Jerry Sheffield, there was an interview he did with USA Today, Rob, and he made some really strong points. Here he is. Rob G's going to read it.
Well, actually, he was on a CBS Sports Radio, and it got aggregated by USA Today. So we got to give him some credit. Got to give him some credit. Here's what he said. I don't watch baseball anymore. I'm truly disappointed with what I watch. And he continued. This is a long 2-minute conversation. It was exciting when I was playing. They implemented all these rules now, and they've changed the game so much, they're making it more hitter-friendly, even without having success. These guys can go out there and strike out 180, 190 times, and it's okay. And then all of a sudden, they show a home run. Now, a home run is less appealing when a home run was a big deal and more appealing when I played because it wasn't happening as often. When I see a pop-up player that everybody gravitates to, he's the face of the team, face of the city, and he has 100 strikeouts in April, when I see stuff like that, I'm not one of those older players that scoffs at the game and talks about the game in a negative light. I just speak the facts. But what I do is meet these kids where they are. That's the way the game is played today, and doesn't mean I got to watch it, though.
Rob, let me jump in. You go first.
His point is well taken, and the whole notion. Chris, you're talking to a guy, Gary Sheffield. First of all, he has over 500 home runs. I've voted for Gary Sheffield every year he's been on the ballot. He was linked with Barry Bonds. He used to train with Barry Bonds. I've talked to him at length. He never tested positive for steroid use, Chris, but he's been tarnished by it.
Right.
That's why he hasn't been voted into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
But the thing that he brought up with the strikeouts, this is why this really is legit coming from Gary Sheffield. Gary Sheffield hit over 500 home runs in his career, Chris, and he also walked more times than he struck out. How many guys you think do that in their big league career who played as long as Gary Sheffield did? More walks than strikeouts. It's almost unheard of.
Let me give you a little support. Looking at the numbers from 2019, Rob, that's the last full season, right?
Right.
Alex Bregman led the MLB with 119 walks. Geno Suarez in Cincinnati led the league in strikeouts with 189. The top 10 guys in strikeouts all had, the 10th guy has 168 strikeouts. They only play 162 games, Rob. That's once a game you going down swinging or looking.
Right. And see, here's the thing. And baseball is to blame. There's no punishment, Chris, for guys who just swing for the fences. They encourage it. This is the issue.
I was going to say punishment. They're encouraging it.
They encourage it. And this is, when Gary Sheffield played, if you were a young player, Chris, striking out that many times, guess where you would be? In the minor leagues. You had to make contact. You had to hit the other way. You had to hit behind the runner, sacrifice a guy over. All that's gone. And his point is well taken. So I do get where he's saying, and we've seen this in a lot of sports. The analytics, Chris, about being efficient is one thing, but I don't know how appealing it is.
Well, no, that's a good point. Because and look, I don't know. I guess it's more efficient. I mean, these dudes are mathematical whizzes, right? These analytics guys. So I guess it's more efficient for your team to swing for the fences, and maybe you get 3 of them to go out. Maybe you got a guy that walked, so a couple of them are multi-run homers, and that's more efficient than just having guys trying to get base hits and things like that. And if you strike out, no big deal. Strike out, you can't get a double play, right? So that's the feeling. I guess it's more efficient. But here's the thing. Is it more entertaining? This is an entertainment situation too, Rob. I've said it numerous times on this show. Because I grew up, I loved baseball as much as I loved any of the sports. I loved playing baseball. I would watch the game of the week on Saturday afternoon with Joe Garagiola.
Joe Garagiola.
I loved it.
And
his
Tony
voice,
Kubek.
everything. Right. Yes. And I like seeing stolen bases. I like seeing double plays. I like seeing manufactured runs. I like seeing complete games. And now you hardly get any of that. And so, okay, I guess it's more efficient, But there's not, Rob, that's what this whole checking the ball is about. It's about we got to get more balls in play. Moving the mound back 12 inches they're experimenting with. It's about getting the ball in play because they know that the action is lacking. And it's like basketball, Rob. It's more efficient to shoot all threes and layups.
Right.
Period. I mean, if I can shoot a shot that's worth 3 points and I'm going to hit 35% of them, that's excellent. You know?
But the aesthetics,
it's not as exciting,
of the game, right?
So I'm with Sheffield, Rob. And I think baseball has to make a decision. You mentioned, like, guys used to know how to hit to the opposite field and things like that.
And hit behind the runner and a hit and run, Chris, where guys on first base, you hit and run, you allow the runner to go, you swing, the shortstop goes to cover the bag, Chris, and what? The ball goes right in his spot. That was hit and run.
And look, guys have their tendencies, right? I mean, you know that. You're going to have your tendencies.
Oh, yeah, we know where they hit.
But I doubt, I don't know that the shift would have been as effective with a Rod Carew, with a Tony Gwynn.
Right.
With professional hitters, you know what I'm saying? And so that, like, I think, Rob, they need to outlaw the shift, to a certain degree.
What you're saying, Chris, you can't two guys on each side of the second base bag. That's it. You can move them all the way over, Chris, right? You can move them anywhere on the right side.
Right.
But you just can't put another guy on that side.
And I think, too, Rob, the pitchers. I mean, yeah, I guess it is more efficient if I have another. I mean, let's keep it real. If I throw a fresh arm out there every 2 innings, it's probably more efficient, right?
Right, because you're going to get the best out of those pitchers, right? Who are going to be at the top, popping that mitt, Chris, for 2 innings rather than as you go on and you pitch 6, 7 innings. You don't have, it's just natural, right?
Right. I mean, especially with as hard as some of these guys are throwing now. But again, is that best for the game? It wouldn't be as exciting, Rob, to see a no-hitter. I mean, we've seen, guys combine for no-hitters. But it wouldn't be as exciting to see a five pitchers combine for a no-hitter.
Right.
As it is 1 or even 2. And so I just think that, and again, it's not only baseball, but they got to look at this, Rob. When you have a guy like Gary Sheffield saying that, you need to take heed.
No, Gary Sheffield is definitely someone who his points are well taken. They're not just out of frustration or, bitterness or anything like that. Obviously, he hasn't been voted into the Hall of Fame. I told you I vote for him. I think he's being miscast, and he was an unbelievable hitter, Chris, for all those years, over 20-some-odd years. I think his lifetime batting average is just under 290, 500-some-odd home runs, a ton of RBIs, and more walks than strikeouts. He was a really good hitter. And, he's the nephew of Dwight Gooden. And Sheffield could have been a star was a big star when he started in Milwaukee. But anyway, I think a lot of these sports, man, they're not as appealing playing this home run or strikeout game. I want to see where's a Ricky Henderson, Chris, who used to steal bases, hit home runs, steal bases.
What is his record? 130 stolen bases?
Yeah, 130.
Something like that.
Nobody's
Can
even
you
close
imagine
to
that this year? Now if you get 30 plus, that's great.
Right. Oh, that's big time.
Right?
Big time. He stole 100. Think about that, 130 bases.
Man, that adds to the excitement of the game, man. The stolen base is an exciting play. And so, I think this is something baseball needs to look at. Do you think they'll look at it? Like, what do you think it'll take for them to, maybe look at some of these things?
Yeah, I mean, they looked at the ball this year. They're trying to do some stuff, but I still believe they have to take a look at the shift, and they have to hold players responsible and not allow that. It's a change in philosophy, Chris. It really is, in that the strikeout is not a taboo anymore. It used to be an automatic ticket to the minor leagues, and they don't seem to care.
Rob, a lot of the guys, too, not all, because some of the analytics guys were really good players at a certain level, maybe even the pro level. But a lot of these guys never played the game.
Never played. No.
And I mean, even at a high school level. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's a part. No, that's a big problem.
So they don't care. They don't have any investment in the game in that regard. It's a job for them, and this is the most efficient way to do it.
And this was the other indictment, Chris, and we've talked about this before. Who's the grandfather of all this? Billy Beane. Chris, how many championships did the Oakland A's win?
Goose
Billy
egg.
Beane's Goose. Why are we following
won
this?
championships before that.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
With Reggie Jackson, they won 3 in a row in the 70s. Chris,
and then,
you remember the Oakland A's?
Too.
Right.
You know?
Why are we following Billy Beane? He didn't win anything. I don't get it. Hello? Is this on? Why are we following the analytics that don't work? And don't tell me, well, the Red Sox won championships and they had analytics.
They were a mix.
Sure they did.
They mixed it, too.
You know what? But they mixed it, Chris. They also had the highest payroll in baseball. So that told you that they had great players. Don't give me
Yankees
Sox
haven't won it since they've been analytics
Nope,
heavy.
they have not won it. Thank you. Since 2009.
And Daryl Morey in basketball's got how many rings?
0.
I'll wait.
Why we keep doing this?
I mean, because it's a job. That's it. It impresses the owners who don't know the game. They know business. They know numbers. They know graphs. When you sit in there with them and you explain to them why you're not winning, you know, this is how you want to play, and you got all these numbers and these graphs to explain why this is the best way. That's more impressive than the former player going in there and talking about heart, talking about accountability, talking about all that stuff, real X's and O's. But it ain't working. It's not working for your championships, and it's not working for the fans.
It ain't working. Hello? There's not enough excitement in the game, in all these games. The NFL's changed, Chris. They throw on every down.
Right, I need a mix. I need a
Am
little
I right?
bit. I love a 120-yard rushing game by a running back.
You mean to tell me that Jim Brown couldn't play today, Chris? Or Barry Sanders? Herschel Walker? They would be nothing? They would be 2 down backs? Chris, get them out the way so we can throw the football?
You're right. I mean, look, as much as I love watching Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, it's great. But you know what? One of my, not the most, I won't lie and say it's the most exciting, but you know who else I love watching? Derrick Henry.
Yes.
Love watching Derrick
Henry. That's why he was such a breath of fresh air, Chris.
Yep.
Rushing for 220 yards and smash mouth football. We loved it, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Especially when he's going to break one off about 60 yards here and there. All right. Your turn to weigh in. Our analytics ruining baseball and maybe other sports.
All right, let's kick it off with Ron in Fresno, California. Ron, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, how's it going, you guys? Listen to you guys' show every day after work.
Thank you, man.
I honestly think you two guys are the best because you guys always talk sports, as opposed to a lot of other people. They just fill in shit with stuff, what stuff, you know, that had nothing to do with sports. But anyway,
we got you.
Analytics. I cursed last time and got caught off the air, so this time I told myself.
You must curse a lot, man.
You curse a lot. What are you, a sailor? What are you, a sailor?
I do curse a lot.
All right,
my mom washed my mouth out with soap when I was in preschool. It didn't work. I'm 44 now. Anyways, analytics amongst a lot of other things is watering down sports. And the funny thing is I just had a conversation saying that if my Raiders don't win a Super Bowl by the time I'm 50, which is 5 more years, I'm retiring from sports because each year it just gets more and more watered down. I feel like players I'm happy that they get a lot of money, but you give them all this money and they don't produce nothing. And so it's not only analytics, it's the money. It's we don't have any savages anymore. It's a lot of prima donnas. And so, it's just not the same as watching sports in the 80s and 90s where you had a lot of brute men who were savages, punch you in the mouth type stuff. Now everybody wants to prance around and like they say, they want to be on their platform and right. Care about their images and all this other type of stuff.
Right. There's time for all that. Thanks, Ron. We appreciate the call. Albert in Honolulu, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Albert?
Aloha, fellas.
What's up, man? Aloha.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with both of y'all. Definitely analytics, I think, are ruining sports in general. The nerds finally found a way to get themselves, into sports and
Right.
affect sports.
Yep, to get a job. Yep, to
Revenge
get
of the
the
nerds.
nerds. 100%
They
right.
found a job. They found a
Yep.
job. And unfortunately to say, sorry there, Mr. Parker, but these Ivy League folks are just ruining sports.
No, I'm
You know,
with
with
you.
all-
I'm an Ivy Leaguer, and I'm with you. I'm sorry. The pencil protectors and all those guys, I hate it. I hate it.
Yes. Now, I'm not.
At its
I gotta
heart,
admit,
Rob is the
analytics,
Southern Connecticut Agricultural University.
Whatever. Whatever.
Analytics works. Analytics works if you want to win games. I don't disagree with it. It does work. But if you want
But
to win
I don't know that it
championships,
works in the
analytics ain't gonna do that.
playoffs. I don't know that it
Exactly.
works in the playoffs. It works in
Right.
the
That's
regular
what I'm saying.
season.
That's what I'm saying. It'll win you games, but it won't win you championships.
Because
It won't win you
hasn't.
championships.
And you know
It
what,
has not.
Chris? And Albert, another team. Chris, how about the Tampa Bay Rays? They've been on
Yep.
analytics. They got to the World Series a couple times. They've never won. They've
Yep.
won divisions. They do it bare bones and all that analytics stuff. They haven't won. I'm with.
And even
I'm sorry.
that, Rob, if you got a good team, and I know obviously fans care about winning, but if it's kind of a nameless, faceless team, no stars, just a bunch of guys that get walks, hit a few homers, that's not going to be exciting for the fans.
Nope.
We want stars.
And you know what? You just said it too, Chris, about the Yankees. They're the Bronx Bombers, right? And
Right.
And they've always hit home runs, but it wasn't just they didn't only have home run hitters. They used to have
not
players
when those best teams, those great teams in the 90s.
with Jeter and
Right.
Bernie Williams and all those guys,
Yep.
right? It was definitely not just home runs. Let's talk to Isaac in California. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Isaac?
Hello, Mr. Parker, Mr. Broussard. Thank you for taking my call again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I believe that analytics, it is kind of messing up baseball to a certain extent. I used to play high school baseball varsity, and I remember the hit and run, but I also remember the run and hit. Okay, the run and hit used to be,
Yep.
the person would steal and, low and slow, let it go,
Right.
high and high, let it fly, And we don't see that at all in Major League Baseball whatsoever. And also, it's kind of on the hitters as well, because, you see a lot of pitchers kind of throwing, an outside changeup to a righty outside changeup to a lefty, and the lefty still tries to, pull it. And
Right.
everybody's paying, go with the ball. Go
Well,
with
it's
the ball.
definitely very much
Go
on
with
the
the ball.
hitters.
Come on,
But that's how
why-
they're teaching
why-
them now.
Right. That's the problem. I'm with Chris. Like it's you would and thanks for the call, Isaac, so much. But Chris, you used to go the other way.
Yep.
Ball is on the outside, right? Go the other
Yep.
way. You got
Yep.
the other field easily to hit the other way. Matter of fact, not long ago we had Darryl Strawberry on. Chris, the year that he lost out to Kirk Gibson for the MVP, 88. I think it was 1988. He had 40 home runs, 39 home runs, 20 off of lefties, 19 off of righties, and he sprayed the field, Chris. They weren't all the right field.
Right.
He had just as many home runs to left field and the center field than he did to right field. He had that kind of power. He didn't pull every single home run.
Yeah, I'm with you.